The United Nations says it wants to see coordination with Moscow continue to allow more civilians to get out. Russian attacks on the site are thought to be continuing. We're joined now by the Ukrainian MP Lesia Vasylenko. Good morning to you. Good morning, Lesia. Can you hear us?
Good morning. Yes, I can.
We have also been hearing about overnight attacks in Kramatorsk. We know that Ukraine rarely gives out official figures about casualties, but should we imagine that they're very significant?
There must be casualties there. We are in the process of counting them, but the attacks have started last night and they've been going on through the night. It's Russia's tactics now is to target one or two or three towns at a time and just go at it with artillery, mortar fires, missiles not really, because these are smaller towns, but really their artillery is like working these towns to absolute hell.
Speaking of which, Mariupol, what are your hopes of a successful evacuation of all of those civilians from the steelworks?
We hope and we work, our government works together with UN officials and the Red Cross to really push for a decision, sustainable decision for a ceasefire for these civilians to be able to be let out and evacuated into Ukraine, because that's another point. That's a lot of the time when Russia gives the green light for the evacuation, they only do it to direct the people to Russia, essentially meaning a deportation and relocation of Ukrainians to Russian filtration camps.
And is that why fighters have not surrendered in the steelworks? Because that's what Putin has called for. He said that forces are ready to give civilians safe passage so long as there is a surrender. And people listening to this will wonder why there hasn't been a surrender thus far.
The Mariupol steelworks is the only strong point, Ukrainian strong point left in Mariupol. And the fighters that are there, they are not afraid of giving that fight and of fighting till the end. For them, it's much more fearful to go into, to surrender and to be taken hostage or to be taken prisoner by the Russian army, because then they know what is coming to them. It will be a very slow, a painful death. It will be torture. It will be interrogations. And I don't think any person, whatever soldier or civilian, is prepared for that.
We hear this morning that the EU is close to agreeing on another round of sanctions against Russia, a sixth round. Are sanctions enough to help Ukraine?
The sixth round is stronger than the fifth, and then the one before, but still not strong enough. So I imagine there will be a seventh one. Russia must be stripped of all means to carry on this war, to pay the army and to pay for the ammunition which this army is using to destroy Ukrainian towns and cities and to put terror on the Ukrainian civilian population.
The Belarusian leader, Alexander Lukashenko, an ally of Putin, he himself has said that the war is dragging on. How does this feel for you? You must be exhausted. We are close to 3 months into this war. It is taking much more time than anybody initially envisaged. How are you coping?
Ukraine is coping because Ukraine has no other choice but to cope. We have a lot to lose, and our only way is to victory. But you are absolutely right. This war cannot drag on for so many reasons. It has a devastating effect not just on Ukraine's towns, cities, infrastructure, economy, but also a devastating effect on the economy of the world, of Europe first of all, and of other countries as well. Ukraine is calling to supply the Ukrainian army with war weapons much faster, much faster than they're being supplied now. We are calling for resources to be mobilized for this war, for Ukrainians to be able to end this war really quickly by ensuring a victory over Russia's aggression.
Lesia Vasylenko, Ukrainian MP, thank you so much for your time this morning.